This is my ninth game of Gauntlet here, and like I said, this is probably like the best defense I've ever played in a game. And you'll see me start out here in Mug. Like again, I'm trying to challenge myself, run different things rather than just Dollar. Dollar is definitely my best defense. So it's the end of the year, I want to get used to running some Nickel. And honestly, double Mug is a really good defense. The problem with it, and the reason why I got away from it, is when people start flipping and quick snapping, it just gets way too annoying. Again, I do like in double Mug that you can cross-man your linebackers, but again, like with all the flipping and stuff, you know, it can get really tough. But again, I'm trying to challenge myself to run it anyways, because you never know when you might need to be good in a particular defense. And that's like one of the best ways to prepare for an upcoming Madden is whatever, you know, people say just run what you're comfortable in. I think in the off season, you should run what you're most uncomfortable in, especially if it's something that, you know, is widely used by other people, because there's a good chance it's going to come back around. Again, most things in Madden come back around. So right here, first play. Again, with my switch stick, I don't want to give up. I could have switched stick to the deep blue here. I don't want to give up like a free touchdown on the first play. Again, this guy probably isn't going to be the type to be patient and wait around on the streak. But again, I'm trying to practice like, you know, not having like a crackhead switch. And like, I just want to see his plays in the first drive. Like I can be really aggressive on defense, and I probably, you know, am a fairly aggressive defensive player. But not on the first drive though. You know, I just kind of want to see what plays he has. You know, so I didn't want to get too crazy with a deep blue right there, but I will get more aggressive as the game goes on. Like I said here, I'm starting off really basic. And again, I'm coming down my hook to switch to the drag, and he playmakers up so good. He's having a really easy first drive, right? So I'm like, man, I'm really going to have to change things up. Again, I really hate playing versus playmaker. I don't know anyone who does like playing versus playmaker. It just really makes it a pain in the ass. Like just a simple drag can hit you in like so many different spaces on the field. And like I said, this is just the easiest first drive ever. But again, we do recover from this, like I said, but I will say, I was like early on, I'm like, shit, you know, he's moving a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, we always, you know, I always believe I'm going to figure it out. So 2nd and 5, I mean, it is tough here to score down here. I'm not the best red zone defender, and like I said, I guess I gotta get better in the red zone. Like I'm really good at switching outside the red zone, but for whatever reason, the red zone, it's just like, I know my hook isn't going to play that, and like I just got to be watching out for that. It's like you just got to think like this zone right here, like when you're playing defense, it's an imaginary zone, like because in my head I'm thinking, okay, this space of the field is guarded, but it's really not guarded. So again, I got to be watching out for those like zigs and crossers. So in the red zone, I really should be kind of like reading this tight end, like see if there's a crosser coming, like a zig, because I know like my hook's not going to guard that, even though he should, but. Again, in this gauntlet, so again, I was in the Browns offensive playbook. It was actually recommended by Pavan. Again, he's on the Madden Academy YouTube. Go check him out there. But again, I'm trying to run a new playbook every week and win the gauntlet in it. And if I don't win the gauntlet, I'll still move on to a playbook, and then I'll come back around to it later on. But here I'm in the Browns playbook. Again, it has, you know, the trips head in the bunch. And again, I think this might have been the game where I finally get off of that. Like, I really don't like this corner out here on the left of the screen. And I think this is the game where I started doing like a stent. Well, I'll talk about it later in the game, but this is the play I usually start out, and I want to see how they defend that little crab route. And here I have like a free touchdown. So again, actually, you know, I usually do look at my running back first here because he's like the quick release route. So I usually do. It kind of varies for me, so sometimes I do look at like to see if they're giving me a free touchdown here first. And I'm trying to think back, so in the post-com, I was looking, because I actually usually don't look at this guy here first. But here so I guess my read here was I was going square, then triangle, and then the crosser, and then the tight end. So I got lucky here, so he switched it onto square here, and we saw that we had the free touchdown, so again, really easy play for us. So when you're reading the field, again, I usually, sometimes, again, it varies, but here, like, I generally, like, I like to look at a streak or a fade first, just to see if they're giving me a free play, and he did on that play.
My name is Mark Detling. I'm 55 years old. Before the Madden Academy, I was just another player winning games at the rookie level in MUT, and was barely competing with my buddies in franchise leagues. I was one of the first Madden Academy students. Since then, I ranked 209th in the Last Chance qualifier. Mono has developed systems and processes that, if you take the time to use, will dramatically improve your game. This community will become your lifelong friends, peers, and coaches. All you need to do is put in the work.
So here on defense, again, I told myself, like, hey, I want to win the gauntlet in like a new offense and a new defense. But, you know, I had already dropped one, and like I was just getting so pissed and like mug, like I'm like, you know what, let me just go to my best defense. Let me just close this out on my best defense. So here again, I am gonna start really basic again here, I believe. I'm just gonna double flat the bunch side, because obviously you gotta think like what's the most popular route combo, and you know, it's usually like some sort of like crab routes and stuff like that. So that's why you see me like double flatting right there. And like I said, this guy is just fucking having his way right now. So anytime someone's like playmakering like this, that's when I really start to man people up, because that receiver is now like a threat in multiple spaces on the field. Versus if you have only like zones on the field, right? Your CPU zone only guards one space on the field, versus like a man up, it can, you know, guard like, you know, multiple spaces on the field, even if they're, you know, playmakering up. So this is where like, okay, after the second playmaker, it's like, all right, you know, I got to get in my bag. I got to start running a little bit of hybrid, and you're gonna see me start like manning people up eventually, because you know, this is pissing me off. I mean, he overthrew it there, but you know, he's eventually gonna get those, you know, completions. But it's usually I notice he's playmaking a lot his lone side, which is, you know, pretty common. And again, I switch him here, and like, I guess I gotta go for a swat in this game, which is, it's disappointing. But again, I'm reading really what I'm reading like pre-snap is I'm really looking like at the combination of the running back and the tight end at the same time. So I'm gonna read like the tight end, or sorry, the halfback first. If he's on that flat, usually it's coupled with a tight end in route or something like that. And I know this space in the field is vulnerable right here. This is open, so that's why I'm kind of reading like the halfback and with combination of the tight end. So I'm reading halfback first, then the tight end. So once I saw this flat in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's probably like some sort of tight end route coming over the middle, and then I got to switch and get to, you know, the tight end in route before he can throw it in that window before the hard flat, because people just love to throw these drags before a hard flat. But obviously then, like, I saw my peripheral, like, it was like a running back streak, but then I saw like the corner route as well. Just because, I mean, the halfback and receiver are really close to each other, so it's easy to see. It's kind of natural to see that corner route, so I was able to get over there. And again, he just, you know, I guess you got to go for swats in these games. Like, the pick animations are so bad. Like, they don't really attack the ball. They just, like, jump up in the air. So here he goes to doubles. So immediately when someone goes to doubles, or when someone's just audibling around in general, they usually go into, like, highlight plays. What I mean is, like, usually you got to think, like, what's, like, the best play in that formation generally. And you kind of have to take a shot in the dark early in the game, because I don't know what he's going to call here. But I'm thinking, like, it's going to be, like, this little speed drag. So I'm already preparing. I'm reading like 89 right here. I'm seeing if he does indeed run that speed drag, and I was actually a little late on it, but I was able to get back up. And dude, they got to take high balling out the game. So again, yeah, I was reading 89 first. I was seeing if he's going to run that speed drag. So we get clicked onto him, but that's where he had that hook over the middle of the field. So even though I was a little late, but I know with this hard flat, again, obviously he's guarding this space over here, and coupled with this, like, with the speed drag, it's going to be this post over the middle of the field. And obviously this hard flat's way out of the play, so I got to take him. And I usually run up and guard the post myself, and then he just high balls over me. Like I said, you shouldn't be able to do that in Madden. That's like a really bad play, really bad read, but you know, it works out because of the high ball feature. Again, I really hope they take high ball out the game. It shouldn't be in competitive Madden. But here, again, back in much, he's been killing me mainly with the playmaker this game. So I am still playing basic. But again, eventually I'm going to start like trying to switch it up, or like playing a little bit more aggressive hybrid. So here, again, you see, so usually in bunch, again, I'm usually reading this halfback first. Like I said, because I know this little like tight end route can get kind of in between the zones right here. Like if this guy goes in a flat, it's usually some sort of tight end drag as well. So I'll just kind of like move in like my hard flat a little bit to guard this little window for the tight end. And then I get back to this crosser here. And again, that should have been a pick as well. So really when you're switch sticking, again, you got to be familiar with like the common route combinations in the game. And knowing who to look at first and then who to progress through. So again, once I saw the running back route, click onto him, play the tight end. And then usually when there's a flat and a tight end, it's usually some sort of either like an in route from square, but once I saw square running like really high like that, it's pretty obvious that's going to be like a crosser instead. So it's usually again some sort of like 89s on like an in route, or again it'll be a play like this where it's a crosser. So that's where, you know, I was able to get into my outside corner and get back to the crosser. And I might have to on a future play. What I'll do sometimes is, if I know that I'm going to grab this outside corner here and maybe play really aggressive over the middle, I'll actually deep half my free safety here. I know it looks like that'll be like a weird defense, like it's like cover 2 plus an outside third. But if you know you're going to switch it onto the outside corner, that deep half will actually play 89. And then I'm free to roam over the middle with this outside third. So you can get really creative with your switch stick shells if you know you're going to switch it, because he could have hit he could have passed that out the streak there. And I'm sure he's going to see that on an upcoming play. So I actually do that right here. So I actually didn't remember this, but and I was trying to bait him right here. I was trying to bait him like I was going to run inside like I did in the last play and then run back out. But again, you just can't do this in the game. The corner is going to get cooked. So I did think 18 was running a little cross here, so I tried to bait it inside and then run back out once I saw the corner, but again, was too slow. Again here, I got really aggressive with my user here. So most people, they're just going to kind of run and guard grass here. I know that there's like a little window to throw the zig route here, and I'm going to like full on commit to that. I'm like one of the few people who'll do this, where a lot of people, they'll just like, they'll just like run back with the user. Like I really like to full on commit to these like little like window throws underneath. A lot of people, they'll just like, I know they just lock on their underneath drag or return route. And I know he's like kind of expecting like, oh, he's going to pass the hook zone. And he's like, there's no way this guy actually comes down and plays it the full way. But he did a good job here. He had this curl. I didn't, you know, again, that's another thing I wish they didn't have fucking curls in the game. But again, I'm going to be mindful of that for later in the game. A curl is something usually you can get on me once, and then usually I won't give it up again. So again, here, when they're at the 1 and trips, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, if you're in the comments, you can give me tips on how to fucking stop trips at the 1, because I have no fucking idea. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to stop down there at the 1. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I did get him to like a 3rd and 1. Here again, I think I saw the angle change, so it's either going to be an RPO or QB run right here. And again, I just don't know how to stop it, to be honest with you. All right. So back on offense. So here, again, one thing I wasn't doing that I noticed going back is sometimes I forget. Oh, actually, I did do it. So sometimes I forget to untarget. So if you're playing versus defensive line and they're just sending like their D line, make sure you untarget their user. That'll help the D line not run free. If the D line starts running free, if they're sending forward, it's probably because you're not untargeting their middle linebacker. The downside of that is, you know, if they do blitz their user, again, the guy will run free. Their user will run free. So that is the downside of that. So here's a small thing. I'm going to send everybody. So since he's standing with his user on the left of screen here, I know it's going to be really hard to guard. So if this guy's blitzing, this guy's blitzing. So there's only this outside corner, the free safety, and Newton on kind of like the left half of the field here, right? And even if he zones this guy out, he's going to be in a hook on like the right half of the field. So I know he only has 3 defenders in coverage to the left half of the field. So when I see somebody standing on the user like this in mid blitz, I'll actually do a play on spacing switch where I do a corner route here, flat route, in route, crosser, and return route. So I have 5 people going to the left half of the field because I know he's only going to have 3 people in coverage to the left half of the field. And the only possible way for him to have more than 3 people on the left half of the field is if he starts manning people up. And a lot of people don't do that, and he wasn't really doing that. So just based on where he's standing with his user pre-snap, I know this is going to be a really difficult play for him to defend. And not only that, since his user's all the way in here, I mean, he really only has 2, this outside corner and his safety in coverage over here. So it's kind of natural to run like a cover 2. Whereas like if you ran outside quarter, free safety, and an inside quarter here, then you're just leaving the flats wide open. That's a kind of an unnatural defense. So it's more natural to run like a cover 2 to this side as well. So, but again, kind of my problem with Bunch X Nasty and why I like doubles over Bunch X Nasty is it's really hard to be cover 2 vertically to the long side of the field. I always believe cover 2 should be the easiest defense to be vertically. That's kind of always why I chose like a trips over, or I chose like a doubles over like a Bunch X Nasty or like a bunch. It's usually hard on one side of the field or the other in bunch to beat cover 2 vertically, whereas like in a doubles, it's really easy to beat cover 2 vertically to either side. But that's why you see in like upcoming videos as well, where I was trying out the empty bunch X nasty and Saints, where the halfback's already motioned out, which I think I would like a lot more than the regular bunch X nasty. But here we go here, untarget the user. Again, he actually does run, so again, the number one thing I'm reading is this outside corner. I see him run back, so he is actually running cover 4 to that side, which is surprising. So I'm gonna keep putting like my flat over there. So again, I think I'm gonna call that exact same play because again, I see him standing right there with his user. Again, I know that's gonna be a really hard play for him to defend. So again, here he even blitzes his user. And again, he only has 2 people in coverage over here. So again, once I saw him run down with his user, remember on the last play he ran down with his user. Once I saw him run down, again, I was able to pass this out. And even if like his user was in coverage, again, we have 4 people going to this left half of the field. And again, there's only 2 defenders over here. So that's why I'm calling this exact play. And sometimes I'll play people and they're like, bro, how do you know like I'm calling like this or that? It's like, you can like on offense, you can play call based on where somebody's standing with their user. And I'll know that like certain plays are much harder to defend just based on simply where they're standing with their user. So here, and again, we have the wide open pass leaded outside here. So again, anytime he's on this left of screen here, again, I know I'm going to send everyone here right to left. And again, it's just going to be too hard for him to defend. Again, we just have more people going to that half of the field than he has defending. So I'm going to keep going to that play because I got to see, because remember, it's the defense's job to stop us, right? Again, the worst thing you can do offensively is adjust to yourself when they haven't even figured out how to stop, the play that you've been doing. So again, it's always on them to stop you, not for you to stop yourself. So again, he's going to have to show me. And I'm actually really curious as to how you would stop this because I have the numbers advantage going that way. So again, I'm going to go right back to it, take the flat. And it's not always like pretty taking like the 4-yard flat, but again, I always believe it's going to open up bigger plays later in the game. So again, and this is what I wanted to see. Now I clicked in my head, I'm like, okay, shit, this is exactly what he had to do to stop it. And I knew that in my head as well. And what I told you earlier is the only way for him to counter like this play call with him standing with his user on the left of the screen here is he's going to have to take this linebacker right here and man him up and potentially man up other people on this right half as well. So that's exactly what he needed to do to stop what I was doing. So that was really good defense there by him. So see, now you're going to see me audible out of that. And naturally, I just like trips a lot better in the red zone because, I mean, personally, I don't know how to stop trips in the red zone myself. So, again, if I don't know how to stop it, there's a pretty good chance my opponent also doesn't know how to stop it in the red zone. So, again, you see here, again, he's taking his user and a nickel, and he's standing on the left of screen here. So, again, what does that tell us? Again, if we know that it's a standard 4-man rush, right? There's only 3 people on this left half of the field, even though that we're now on trips. So, again, I'm going to send a route combo with everybody going to the left half of the field. Or just about everybody I didn't send over. I probably, looking back at it, I probably could have put triangle and a crosser instead. But again, he just doesn't have enough people over here to defend this route combo. So anytime I play nickel, it's honestly like a field day. You can kind of take advantage of where they're standing pre-snap with the user. And that's also why I don't believe you should... I actually changed my mind on this. I used to say you should be able to see where somebody's user in pre-snap. Now I no longer feel that way because again, it's just a huge advantage to the offense, especially if somebody really knows what they're doing on offense. But I also know like a lot of people are just like, what the hell? Like people don't even like pay attention. Like they don't think, for the route come you call, they don't think like where the user is standing even matters. But it is, hopefully after this, you now see why it's a big advantage seeing where the user is standing pre-snap. So, and here, this is actually just a bad read. So that was a great user by him. He played it really aggressively. And like I said, I had, this is usually not what I run in the red zone. So I'm kind of like in my head, I'm not exactly sure what I want to call. I think, did I go to God's play here? No, I didn't. God's play is the one with the tight end crosser. Again, he actually played really good red zone defense on me right here. So usually like in the red zone right here, I'm kind of expecting someone to play really aggressive, like, drop people in the hooks, like drop safeties in the hooks, put them in purple. So usually can open up a streak, but he had like everybody man up. So that was really good defense. I should have got stopped here in the red zone. I got a lucky broken tackle and scored. So right here, I mean, he's been doing like this little crab route a little bit. And you're gonna see me here go with this shell. So again, this is like a really weird shell looking at it initially, right? But again, I am intending to switch onto my outside corner right here, or either, you know, I can either, it's kind of like a bait zone also. So I know that the seam is wide open down the middle here. So I can either take my free safety and play him like it's an inside third, right? And I'll still have help over the top from this deep zone. Or what I can do, I have the flexibility to, I can jump onto my outside corner here if he's doing like a crossing route. And, you know, I'm not afraid of then giving up like a pass it out streak, right, to 89. You know, I can safely switch onto this outside corner and just roam the deep middle of the field. So this is kind of like a bait shell, a bait switch stick shell. Again, you try to see me, I try to do it here. I think I got into the outside, or no, I didn't get onto the outside corner here, but since I had this guy in a deep zone, again, I was like comfortable playing really aggressively with my free safety because the deep zone would have played it. But he called the perfect play, yeah, like a deep in right behind it. So again, you see me here, I finally start to get a lot more aggressive on defense. So he's been killing me. I maybe should have like man up this side, but he hadn't gone to 89 in a while with the playmaker. But again, he's been doing like a lot of these like crossing routes at 18, like returns, and in routes by 18. So what I did is I manned up, you know, the bunch side, shaded down and inside. And that's going to do a really good job versus like your return routes, your crossers, especially like the drags, the returns, and even that little that stock little in route he did. And I think I'm gonna shade down and inside. And again, yeah, you know, this streak will beat a man up over the top. But again, I have my inside third and my deep half just in case they do get fried. So again, I kind of baited him there with the shell, so that was perfect. And here, like looking back at it, like I should be getting ready for like a playmaker or either a curl to 18. But actually, this been a while since I looked back, so let's see what I did. Okay, so yeah, this is also a shell that I've started doing pretty recently. Is, you know, if you remember, like he gave up like 3rd and 10 is a curl scenario, but he also does do like a lot of like, you know, crabs and return routes to 17. So what I do sometimes now is I'll double hook the bunch side. So I'll have like the 5-yard hook for the return route, and then I'll have like my safety in like a 10, 15-yard hook. I think I stemmed them up a little bit to play like the deeper curl. And like I always say, if you want to get pressure in dollar, do not send the looper. Seriously, like just send 2. Like that's the best pressure in dollar. It's a lot better than sending the loop. I don't know why. People say it's crazy, but I'm telling you. And there it is. The dude just goes absolutely fucking nuts. I'll never understand it, dude. I never get this pressure when I loop, bro. But I'm telling you, when I send 2, they just go absolutely nuts. It's actually insane. So I don't understand it, but hey, man, I'm not saying nothing right now. So again, I don't know if he would have had anyone open. We played like perfect defense right there. Yeah, I don't think he would have had anyone open. I actually curl fight at the last second, so I was able to play this tight end wheel, and then I had the double hooks for the angle route, and then I grabbed the left slot to go and play that crosser right there. So we actually played perfect defense. But again, so unfortunate that I just got insta shut out like that, because he could have at least ran around and playmakered. So again, right here, like I'm like, man, why did I send the loop, bro? Like, okay, no, I didn't. Okay, good. So yeah, I'm just gonna send 2. Like I said, this is the best pressure in dollar is sending 2. I get better pressure when I send 2 than I loop. And there he goes. Like I'm telling you, look at the fucking DN, bro. He just went absolutely fucking nuts, bro. You don't get this pressure if you send the loop. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I know, but again, that's just kind of, I don't know. So again, here on this long down scenario though, again, I really should have manned up. I guess I was manning up 18 just in case for the slot fade, or like this little inverted like fade and bunch. But really, like you kind of got to worry about 17 on like a little slot fade as well. But I did have my slot cloud flat all the way back. I think I might have actually manned up 17 at the last second. Let's see what I did here. Yeah, I did. So again, the only thing that could really beat me here was you know, that like outside slot fade. So that's why I ended up manning 17 up. And like I said, slot corners and vert hooks play a lot better than your linebackers and vert hooks. They do a really good job versus those curls. So again, to me, that's one of the best shells. And in these long down scenarios, again, play a perfect defense there. And again, the D-line just went absolutely nuts. Like I said, man, if you want to get pressure in dollar, just send 2. It doesn't make any sense, I know, but that's just how the game works. So again, here he's a nickel and he's standing left of screen here. So I'm going to go back to this play. Again, he has his linebackers out of the gap. this is really like a really little detail, but when your linebackers are out of the gap, they don't play nearly as well in man coverage. For whatever reason, when your linebackers are down in the gap and you start to man them up, they play a lot better in man coverage. So once I saw this guy stand out of the gap, I'm going to go back to the spacing switch play, even though he's like man people up on the bunch side before. But again, I know that with that guy being out of the gap, he's not going to play nearly as good in man coverage. And that was good defense here by him. So I actually had the post here. I thought I could throw this initially, but good defense by him. Again, he's standing on this guy on the left of the screen. Again, he only has like 3 people on this side of the field. So again, he has to go and guard this post. So see, he's starting to get desperate. He's starting to man people up. But like I said, he just doesn't have enough people over there to defend this route combination. Again, even if he mans this guy up, I can throw this corner down and away versus man coverage. And again, you got to make sure you pass that down and away. Again, you got to have your pass leads down versus man coverage. Again, here I'm just trying to take a little clock with me, get down at the 1, get down a yard short. Again, here, honestly, in the new playbook, I wasn't really sure what to do, to be honest with you. Like I said, just in the red zone, I wasn't really too sure what to do, so. And again, I'll be honest, like, I don't know how he got in front of that ball. When I threw that, I was in front of the ball, so I don't know how he just, like, morphed through, but I guess that was good defense. Like, I feel like worst case scenario, just watch it. I don't know how his defender ended up in front, but I guess it is what it is. But that was a good play by him as well, though, switching on. But again, he definitely, I feel like I was moving pretty easy on him. But yeah, he definitely played a pretty good red zone defense. And right here, again, his guy just goes fucking absolutely nuts. Like, the whole D-line just said, fuck it, we're going to run free this play. And, like, when they say that, bro, you just going to be like, all right, bet. You know, there wasn't really much I could do, so you just got to take the sack. And bro, here it is again. So a little thing before half, what I do is I started putting my safety adjustments on loose. And that's like to prevent, like, obviously you have like you have too many bombs and like bunch. So having your defenders on loose, it makes it a lot easier to defend any of those bombs. And like the only weakness of this is like a seam streak, but I'm going to be like lurking like any seam streaks over the middle of the field here. I really just don't want to give up like a bomb right here. And like I said, man, when you want to get pressure in dollar, do not send the looper. Like, dude, the send to is going absolutely nuts. So again, here I'm kind of like worried about a playmaker, so I'm like cross-manning square for the playmaker. And I'm going to move my user all the way left. And again, he really doesn't have anything. There's not really much you can do in this scenario, especially when I'm on loose. I just have everybody back. See, that's what I mean. That's a downside of loose, but again, there's just not enough time for him. So we're going to close out the half going up 3. So he's onside kicking early. So here, like a little thing on the onside kick is I always try to strafe up and get to the top of the circle and go for the user catch. I feel like that helps your chances. I do that on defense as well. Again, I'm going to go right back to it. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, this is actually, so I noticed right on the last drive. So again, I know since he's at the disadvantage number-wise, like on this, like these left 2 columns on the field, right? On this left half of the field, right? So again, he's been like manning up his free safety, trying to make up for that, the difference in numbers. And I've seen like he's been touching his free safety a lot, right? So that's why here I'm gonna go I just streak him instead on the first play, especially like considering the scenario, like somebody's down 3, they're onside kicking. They're getting a little desperate right here. So this is like the perfect time to go for a kill shot. Again, I've kind of been hitting him underneath a lot. But I'm really, really good in these scenarios on offense. Like, I'm really good at just coming in and just blowing somebody out because I know how to play this scenario. Where I know somebody wants to get a little aggressive right here. He's been touching his free safety a lot. He's been manning him up. So that's why this is the first time all game I put him on the streak here because I knew he's been touching his safety. And we get him over the top here to go up 10. So again, here back up 10. So again, he's been doing a lot of these like returns, like drags and crabs. So again, I'm going to have 2 fired hooks over the middle of the field. And you see me, I don't really grab onto my deep blue unless I'm doing like that special switch stick shell. So again, I think also here, I started manning up. So again, he was, especially early in the game, he was doing like, he's putting 89 and putting him on a drag and playmaking. So I started manning him up, and then I'll grab onto my slot and get back in the post myself. I'm going to make it really hard for him to get anything over the top right here. And here, I think I man up the running back last second as well. But again, this was crossman because, based on when he was in bunch. But I'm like, you know what? This actually isn't bad. I think I'll keep it like this. I might have man up as running back because usually people put their streak on the running back here. Again, we just play perfect defense right here. So again, that should have ended the game right here. But this crossman actually worked out really well because I was like, fuck it, like he might run the PA snag play. So I knew like that crossman would be pretty good on him. So that crossman played the drag, or sorry, the slant pretty well, and then we had the flat, or the curl flat to help out on the slant, and then I was able to switch stick onto my outside corner. Because I know that, you know, I had circle man up, I had an inside third, so I knew I could switch stick onto my outside quarter to go and play that post. So here again, I'm really looking for the speed drag here on the right of screen. And like I said, the D-line was going absolutely just insane. Like I said, you notice I'm not sending the loop right here. I also noticed like he doesn't have like certain abilities on his own line. I was just realizing that too. So I'm like, and it's like, who is 85? Is that a tight end at right tackle right here? So that might have been why the D-line was going crazy. Like this guy didn't really have that many O-line abilities at the time. So, but we got him in a 4th and 19. And again, I'm going to do the same shot I did last time. I just think in this scenario, it's extremely difficult to beat. Again, the really big thing is I got to watch out for curls. The biggest thing, I got to make sure I have my slot corner and a hook and a vert hook, because he plays those hook curls the best over a linebacker. But again, if I put my slot corner, in a vert hook, like the only shot I can really play around that is cover 2. But the thing is, cover 2 is weak vertically. So I'm just going to man up the route that could potentially beat me vertically in cover 2, which is that outside fade to 17. So that's why I got him manned up. And obviously pass coming in the scenario. You see, he gets like the slot fade there, but we got him manned up. And like I said, we were able to go for the swat. I was actually a little scared because my guy got bumped, but he was able to, we were able to swat it out with the safety. And like I said, I was looking for the kill shot right here. I really should have gone with an RPO. Like he wouldn't have really been able to guard this RPO, I don't think. He had a slot corner on the wrong side of the field. But this is where I was also like I probably should have set up pass pro or either just gone with an RPO right here. But I was thinking like, okay, you know, he doesn't really have anybody over 80 right here. So I think, okay, I can just streak right here. You know, streak right here. I really should have pass pro'd since I actually did pass on this play. And I probably would have had it, but because yeah, I mean, we just had numbers here to the trip side. So I should have just set a pass pro right there. Again, he's standing on the left side of the field again. I'm expecting him hoping he might get again a little aggressive here. And again, he runs cover 2. And I don't know if this is like an inside third. I don't know which one he was in. Maybe like a mid read. But again, I would also like I just hate this I mean, it's not the most open pass, but like I just wish that guy wouldn't do that like jumping animation just to give me a shot. But again, I'm not mad at him dropping that though. He probably should. So 3rd and 21 here. So I'm hoping like he'll go cover 2 again. So I'm just going like an all-out cover 2 beater, and again, he gets like the loop coming in. I actually wonder if I would have had that. So like I said, this guy, I think he held me to like a few threes this game, so he's playing good red zone defense. I really didn't have like the red zone dots in this playbook at the time. So again, only up 13. Again, he's still in the game. Again, we just haven't been able to close it out in the red zone, honestly, to go up multiple possessions. Again, here we see with the angle change, we switch into the safety. That's something I like to do a lot, is when I see somebody running, I'll just jump onto my safety just to ensure I actually do stop the run. Again, it's just like, dude, you're down 13 and now all of a sudden you want to start running the ball. It's just like, what are we doing, man? Just like here, this is pathetic, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, like why do it now? Again, you see me here, I go with the shell early in the game. I man up the bunch side. Again, he was able to quick stab me here. That was a good tight end corner by him. And again, this time, so again, we're doing like, because he's doing like a lot of returns. So again, we're putting our like hooks on 5. And again, I saw the corner and then I was able to get back. Like I said, like I'll give up a curl route like maybe once. But like I said, I'm reading that running back, and then naturally I saw the corner route next. So I switched on to Woolen, right? But I remembered like the last time he did this play, he had a curl in a slot. So I just remembered it from last time. So I see flat corner, it's like, okay, backside curl. That's immediately what went on in my head. And I was able to get back to this curl. And actually, I don't think it actually was a curl this time. Maybe it was like a 25-yard curl, but who knows? So here we were able to look at the shit out of him right here. So actually, I had put my like mid-read higher up here for like that crossing route to make it easier to switch. And like I said, I really just like to switch onto my hook curls and curl flats, and like flat zones if necessary. But yeah, once I saw, so again, I'm reading pre-snap, I'm reading the running back, and just naturally, it's easy to see what 89 goes on next. I see, okay, running back flat. I'm like, okay, I see 89 going on this crossing route. And I know in my head, like I don't have anybody guarding this intermediate middle of the field. So I'm gonna switch on to, I know I have to get him to 17 here and run back with him and play that crosser myself, and that's what I did. Again, anytime I see like the angle change in doubles, I go hard fast because again, you have this like little RPO. Again, you see me here. Again, I was looking to play for like any like curl routes and like crossers, you know, stuff like that. So you saw me like I crossed me onto 18 right here. And then I had 17 man up because of like the playmaker drag that he's been doing sometimes. So, and then like a curl flat in case of like any corner route or anything like that. And I just know like I'm watching like 89. I'm watching like this space of the field right here because I know like this space in the field right here is open. So I switch it onto my hard flat, bait like I'm going to play the corner. And then I grab into my outside corner and then I'm thinking it's going to be some sort of curl route. So that's why I'm like running to the middle of the field. But it actually wasn't a curl route. Again, he just like, I guess he just put 2 streaks. So that was like a really weird route combo. So I was kind of like, you saw me like later in the game. Like I said, I only give up the curl route maybe once. Like, again, I'm sitting on that curl after that. But again, right here, you're going to see me do the double hook on the tight end side. So again, I'm expecting like this little zig, like the zig play, and then like a pulse over the top. So that's why I have this guy on like a deeper like hook curl, thinking like it's going to be a pulse. But again, he did a good job if you were taking this flat. Definitely wasn't ready for that. Again, here, like when they go to this, like I'm hard from the outside corner for the RPO. Again, everybody get a block shed. And like I said, man, like what the fuck does the hook even do, bro? Like, come on, like why would you not guard that one? But like I said, I gotta get better at switch stick in the red zone. It just kind of fucks me up. I thought 18 looked like he was gonna run a crosser, and then he just stopped. So I was trying to get to the crosser, and then the hook curl gave up the other, thing. It's like the hook zones are really just like imaginary in the red zone, so it is what it is. Yeah, like I said, it's like everyone says like the red zone's so easy, but like I don't know, man. I think the red zone's kind of tough on defense. For me, it is. But here I got quick snap. But yeah, so I had to go and play that zig, and then he did a good job of having the hitch and the slant. And here I was finally able to get a red zone stop on him right here. Yeah, we ran inside and played the hitch really quickly. So here I'm always like front and center. You see me like strafing up, and we were actually able to return this. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just return this. Yeah, I was playing good defense on him, so I'm like, I'm just gonna score. So this is where I really started turning it up on defense. Like again, he's been playmaking with like 89 here. So that's why I had him cross man. And then he's been doing like a bunch of like curls, returns to 17 and 18. So I had them manned up. And then obviously you got a hard flat this side for like the running back. So again, I was really looking to play like the little playmaker to 89, but potentially also playing like the return route by 17 and the crosser by 18. So again, the purpose of manning up is I know that 17 is eventually going to win on the return route, right? I know that 18 is eventually going to win the crosser. So you gotta, I'm essentially double teaming them. I know they're going to beat their man, but I just need them to play man long enough until they run into my switch stick on the other side of the field. So this is something I talk about a lot at the Madden Academy. We go over is using like man ups with the purpose with the intent of like double teaming somebody, letting them guard like a certain space for a certain amount of time until they run into a zone. And then again, it's not the number one thing people get wrong with man ups is like, oh shit, my man up gets right anyway. Anyways, why use it again? You use it with the intent of a double team. If you're using it with the intent of them just bagging the route, like I said, it's just not going to be really effective for you. So, and here and again, you see me putting the spy. Again, I just get really good pass rush in that. So again, this is just like perfect defense right here. He tried to playmaker up, but again, I didn't leave him anyone. I manned up all of his playmaker options right here. So again, here after manning somebody up like that, again, most people they start doing like a lot of like mini drags and crossers over the middle of the field. So the number one mistake you can make, or one of the top mistakes you can make when you're running like hybrid defense, is that you just keep doing it every single play. Like sometimes you just gotta throw in like stock defense because they're thinking like, oh shit, all these people are manned up. I gotta do a bunch of crossers, slants, drags. So I'm just gonna do like a really basic like defense with 2 5-yard hooks on the field because I know he's probably gonna try to put some crossers and stuff on the field, some mini crossers to beat the man. So here I'm just gonna do a basic switch stick shell. And again, I see that running back coming out of the field. I touch my hook zone really quick. I get back up with Thomas to play the crosser. Then I come back over the middle and play the little return route. So again, you'll see me. I really don't switch into my deep blues that much. Like I said, you really should get good at just switching onto your flats and hooks. And you can really just play majority of the route combos. You really don't need to switch into the deep blues, and you can still like play almost any route combo as you saw there. So again, here like 3rd and 10. Again, I'm thinking curl. So again, you're gonna see me do like the double hook right here. And again, it's probably like I saw I'm gonna trip, so I'm like, oh shit. That's probably not gonna be the best, but again, this guy is really just trying to play making my ass off right here. And the send 2 was really good this game because too, again, he just didn't have O-line abilities for whatever reason. So again, here I really have no idea. I think it's like this little like the speed drag play right here. But I wasn't really sure. But you see me going like the double hooks here for like any curl, then any returns or anything like that underneath. Again, you see the D-line just goes absolutely nuts right here, and that was really essentially the game right there. Again, he really couldn't. I think I finally put it together. See, I think I finally put it together in the red zone and just knocked it in. Again, it really should have been a blow. I really just wasn't able to like close it out in the red zone too well. But I finally went the God's play and got him right here. So yeah, good game right here. And again, if you're looking to master, Madden's mental chess match, again, you like what you saw. Again, you're really gonna love, the Inside the Madden Academy. Get started in your free course now over at themaddenacademy.com. Again, it's mental, not meta mastery. And again, it's the best way to become like a Madden grandmaster and master the game within the game.